Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to Floating in Dreams, welcome to my single eyeshadow collection. You can't really see everything that's in frame yet, don't worry, I'm gonna lay everything out for you, but I thought that in line of all of the parts of my collection that I've been showing you, I could dig into my single shadow collection. We're not just talking things in palettes, we're also talking pigments. I've got some liquid shadows for you here. I've got some powder shadows. I've got my creams. I'm gonna do some swatches, but I believe I actually have content up already with most of these things. So I'll be linking you to as many things that I can find, and I'll swatch some things, but definitely not everything because there's far too much here. But yeah, we're gonna look at all of my single shadows and what I've got going on here. I thought we could start off with powders in a single pan, creams, liquids and pigments, and then end on the palette note. So let me lay some things out for you and let's get started. Okay, so welcome to everybody watching today's video. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome if you're a returning visitor. I'm very much appreciating you taking the time out of your day to watch another one of my videos. I think this will be a long one because I just love eyeshadow and I mainly talk about eyeshadow palettes on this channel, and I thought that in 2022 I could make the change and also include some more single shadow content. So I would love to hear your ideas on how I can show off more of these things apart from talking about it as a collection. In case you don't know, I love talking about Catrice and Essence products as well, so that's why I always have a bunch of those products in whatever category I'm showing you or whenever I do videos. And I am someone who does like to get to use out of their products, so that's another reason why I want to somehow create a project this year, and I'm still undecided whether I'm going to do it on my main channel or whether I'm going to start up some sort of like membership and that I can sort of like make it more of like an interactive thing to ask you for inspo. And like I have ideas, but I haven't really made up my mind yet, but I want to get more use out of my singles, and that is why I am doing this video today as a reminder to myself how many great things I just have in terms of single shadow, and that I should just start reaching for these things. Yeah, you're looking at my sort of powder singles right now that are in a pan. So I do have some palettes that I have filled with single pans, and that's how I prefer to use single shadows if they're not a liquid or a cream. So this definitely is underused, and some of this is no longer available even. Oh my. So where to start? Let's start with what's at the bottom and move our way up. I think that's easiest. So in their latest changeover, Essence did these two shadows. These are their new soft touch eyeshadows. This is in Eternity and Secret Woods. I already know that this guy is gonna go when I declutter these because I just didn't feel this was as pigmented and lovely as this one is. This one I loved. This is a great like mauvey taupey tone kind of eyeshadow, and you know how I feel about my cool tones, but this I thought was lovely. So this is like one of my like favorite one and done kind of shades, and you'll see that this is what I have a lot when it comes to my singles collection. Like you're gonna see this shade a couple of times, I'm not gonna lie. Then I don't think they still do this, but Nabla started off doing eyeshadow as singles, which you could either buy as a pan or potted, and I first bought these. So one of these is the original Alchemy shade, which is this one. This is Alchemy. I don't love the packaging on this. This is the original. So currently in the Wild Berry you can get Alchemy 2.0, but since I own it as a single, I don't really care for that palette all that much. And then this one is similar but more purple, and this is Selfish. These I do want to swatch for you because these are duochromes, and these are some of the first duochromes I ever owned, and both of them are a little bit sheer, so I actually prefer topping these over some of my Colourpop Super Shocks that I have. So this is Alchemy. and this is Selfish. So when we get to my Super Shocks, I will keep these here off to the side, so I don't forget to show you what it looks like when you layer these over some Super Shocks. This Blurple shade, I think I can, when I do a nude declutter, I'll probably get rid of this. This is by MUA. This was £1 at the UK drugstore when I bought it. I now have better Blurples. This is like the perfect blend of a purple and a blue, making this like black light kind of purple, but I have this shade in much better formulas, so this I can definitely get rid of. And I think that by now it's also time to get rid of my KVD shade. I had a couple of these singles, and Thrasher is the one I kept because it was just such a perfect dirty gold. Like, it's a really good olivey gold kind of shade, but at the end of the day, this just doesn't really go with my coloring. I think that if you have an olive undertone, this will be pretty, but on me, it's not that great. Then one of my favorite one and done eyeshadows, you're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video because a lot of my singles are great one and done shadows, but it's this one from Burberry. I don't even know, do they still make makeup? I don't know, but Burberry's, what's it called again? Rosewood. So this is a great taupey rosy kind of shade, and I think it's very similar to the Essence one, so let me swatch it right next to it. Oh no, it's a bit more rosy toned and a bit more satin. So yeah, this I love as a one and done eyeshadow, like, and it's so soft and buttery and smooth that I can never get rid of because this is great for travel. You'll definitely see that I have a bit of a type in terms of like these powdery singles. It's like taupes or greens. That seems to be my vibe. So I have this L'Oreal Infallible in Golden Emerald. This is such a stunning shade. But again, I think I have a single in my palette by now that is actually quite similar to this. So that's another thing that I want to find out. But this is so, so pretty. It's very, very pretty. Then another very old product, this MAC shadow in the shade Sea Worship. You can still buy this, I found. This is one of their Extradimension shades. And this is one of my favorite, like, cocky golden greens. Like, it's not very gold, it's not a true green, it's not a true cocky. But that is a stunning shade. Again, grade one and done eyeshadow. These little containers are what your Cliona round singles come in if you buy those. This is a MAC single that I decluttered from my MAC palette, but that I want to use up as an eyeshadow base setting shade. This is Yoghurt. I'm currently using up Vanilla in that format. I have it as well. I didn't bring it up here, but this is just great for like setting your base with. And then this is actually a highlighter that someone pressed for me. This is Sydney Grace's Pink Mist. And this is just one of those like duochromy iridescent shades. Like, it's really, really pretty. But this is, I think they sell this as a face highlight, if I'm not mistaken. But I would definitely use this more as an inner corner highlight. Now I'm going to skip this Catrice one for a minute because I want to actually compare it to one of the liquid metals that's up here because I feel it's very similar to one of the liquid metals. So we'll start over here. This is the Kiko Glitter Shower eyeshadow in shade 1. It's not glitter. It's not a pressed glitter at all. It is a very chunky metallic silver. They do several shades in this, but just look at how pretty that is. It's stunning. It's a stunning eyeshadow. And then my Holika shadow in Moon Flash. I never know what it's called because it's written differently on the website than it is on the packaging. It is a bit that Super Shock kind of shadow, but again, it looks like a pressed glitter. Like look at how textured that is. And it is sort of like very chunky when you pick it up, but then it applies like a cream. Like this is what I want from a single shadow. You know, this way I want to reach for you. So again, if you want to just add some sparkle to the lids, it's really pretty. And then we have a couple of these little H&M shadows. So in case you missed it, I did a full face of H&M in 2021 because I wanted to show you one of my favorite makeup brands that nobody talks about. And because I didn't really know what to do for eyeshadow, at first I couldn't find many of their palettes. So when I ordered the stuff online, I actually bought some of their singles. And these you can pop out and then you can put them in a palette because these are magnetic pans. So I bought a couple of their mattes, so a rosy tone and a taupey tone. Like again, these are perfect shades, so I don't think I'd get rid of them very quickly. And then I bought some of their shimmers. This is I Can't Even, which didn't look as nice in real life than it did on the website. This is Sun Worship, and this is one I wanted to get because I used to own this when they first did this line, and I decluttered it, and I kind of regretted it. And this is more of like a bronzy, taupey kind of shade. It's really, really pretty. So if you like taupe, if you like the idea of taupe, but you find it too cool toned, then definitely check this out because it has a very warm undertone, as you can see. And then the last one is Cocktail Dress, which again is not that great. It's more of like a brown with golden sparkle. It's just a little lackluster. Like I don't love this. I'm going to be very short and sweet about these. These are the Catrice Liquid Metal Shadows. These were discontinued a long time ago, but it's one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas that Catrice ever did, so that's why I still have it. My favorite one is this one. This is Under Treasure, and this is their taupe. And they're very soft. They're not metallic, but they're more like a satiny kind of finish. Again, this is a great one-and-done eyeshadow. It is a taupe with a lot of shine. I just really like it. So I have that in a champagne, and I've got it in the blue and the teal and in the purple. This is called Mauves Like Jagger. I got it on sale when they discontinued these. The ones I wanted to compare and definitely swatch for you is because Catrice does repeat itself. They discontinue so many products that it just can't, like they just can't do anything else. So in their new line this summer, when they released some new shadows, they did this. This is the shade Golden Leaf 360. And the way this swatched, it just really reminded me of Gold Leave Me from this liquid metal line. I think this is a bit more cocky leaning, perhaps a bit more gold. It's not as intense. But I think that the new formula is perhaps like a little bit better. It's a little bit more green, but I feel that they give off a similar vibe. Like this is a bit more muted. It's more my vibe because this you can just like dust all over your eye and you're done. But I think this is a little bit more now, and I thought it was a very pretty shade. Next up are all of my cream shadows. So these are all of my shadows in a little pot. As you can see, I have a favorite brand because I have a lot of Colourpop Super Shocks. And as I just mentioned, Colourpop has been redoing some shades that I have that were discontinued, but they've brought them back. So I know that these two are now back. And maybe this one, is this Ripple? Yeah, this is Ripple. So these three were discontinued, but you can get it again, which is great. So I think I want to swatch all of these for you because these are just fun. So let's start with the Charlotte Tilbury stuff here. So I've got some high-end things. I bought these two in the Black Friday sale. So I have her, what are these called? I believe these are her Bejeweled Eyes, I think. It only comes in two shades. This is Walk of No Shame. And it has that little stopper like the Holika. And this, it's a little bit more like saturated, like Pillow Talk is the other one I think she does. But this I thought was very pretty. It just, you know, as a light dusting all over the eye, this is just something that can be pretty for every day. And then I have her Eyes to Mesmerize in Pillow Talk. I think that these two layered may actually be really, really pretty. I took a bit too much of the Pillow Talk, I'm afraid. So yeah, this to make this a bit more sparkly, I think will be very pretty. So this, just blend it all over the eye and then popping this on top. That's, I think, the combo I want to go for. Then my Christian Dior one that I saved from my makeup memory box because I ended up thinking, yeah, I do really like this shade. It's a bit dry, but what I have found with higher end cream shadows is that even if they pull away from the sides, they still work. So, and I was like, yeah, well, this shade still works. So why should I get rid of it? I mean, and this is a perfect, like, silvery, cooler toned cocky shade that can serve as a great base for, like, other cocky shades, or if you just want to go for something very subtle on the eyes, this is great. My find of 2021 in terms of cream shadow is the H&M Beauty Cream Shadow in Dauphine Truffle. I've used this quite a bit, as you can see. And what I've been doing is that I've actually used one of my Colourpop Super Shocks to top it off with. So I'll do that in a minute. So I'll put this one here. So this is just a like a taupey brown. That's really just what it is. It's like a satin finish. So it's a bit like the Pillow Talk one, that it can really work nicely as a base for other more sparkly things to sit against. So I'll show you what it looks like with my favorite, one of my favorite Colourpop Super Shocks on top in a minute. I still have two other ones here to chat about, which are my Chanel ones. Now I don't think they still do this. Same for the Dior. These are the Illusion d'Ombre, I believe. And I have one in Rouge Noir. They're classic. I was going to say classic and cafe at the same time. That didn't work out. And I have a limited edition shade, which is quite a cult classic, called New Moon. So this is what Rouge Noir looks like. And this is my perfect base for a smoky eye. So whenever I do smoky eyes, I don't want them to be black or gray. I like them if they are this like darkish, like blackened reddish shade, or if they are like a navy. So I do really like this just to start things off with, because it's red with a black base, really. So I like building it up more intensely. Let me do that for you right now, so that it really sort of goes like that on the eye. So you do need a few layers to get it there, but look at that. And it works really well as a liner as well. And then this is New Moon. And this is one of those sparkly toppers. This is again a little bit dry, but as you can see, it still works. And that's what New Moon looks like. Again, I think it will be pretty over either one of these three. And then we get to the Colourpop things, which is quite a lot. Let me show you my favorite combo first. So what I've been doing a lot in the fall for a very basic eye is to put the H&M shade in Dauphine Truffle under Colourpop's Frog. And this is very similar to Ritz, which is one of my other favorites. But this is what Frog looks like. It's very vibrant. And then it has a blue flash. So let me see if I can show you the blue that this has. I don't think I can. But it looks like a rosy champagne-y shade for the most part. But then when you put it especially over this, oh, then you can see the blue, I think. Like this is what I've been doing a lot on my eyes. So I will put the taupey shade into the crease, and then I top it off with Frog, and you just get this really nice, because it has more of a base to it, it just looks a lot better than when you wear it by itself. But the two Colourpop shades that I love combining or wearing by themselves are these two. This is Ritz, and yes, when I last placed in Colourpop order, I got a backup, because I have hit pan on this baby. I've used it so much, and I thought it was drying out, but no, I hit pan on it. So this is my perfect, like, nudie sort of shade that has quite a lot of shine to it, as you can see. Like, it just has a lot of shimmer. So it just has this like nudie beige, very light sort of base to it, and then it has a lot of silver to it. I love it. The other one is one of the OGs that they've just recently brought back. This is So Quiche, which is a taupey duochrome. You can see a little bit of the shift that it has. Ooh, and this one is still super duper creamy because I've kept it shut. I mean, if you keep your Colourpop Super Shocks in a dry, dark place, I find they can keep very, very long, because I still have some of the ones that I bought when I first bought these. And this is what So Quiche looks like. So I love combining the two. So I love putting Ritz over this, but I also love using this on the lower lash line and then this all over the top lid. Like, I very often travel with these two shades, and that's like all the eyeshadow I will bring. Then we have Ripple, which was also brought back just recently. I have this from a collection a few years ago, and this is that Blurple. Again, not one that I necessarily feel I'm gonna have to keep around for a very long time, because if I want to go for this look, I don't reach for a Super Shock. But what I like about this is that it is iridescent, so it has not that strong of a base to it. So I do like that. So this is really fun to top over purple looks if you do them. The next one is Falling Up, which is like a, I thought this could be another like addition to something like Ritz, where it's just easy. You can just dust this all over the lid and, you know, just be your one shadow, like one-stop shop and you're done kind of thing. You can't really see it because of where it is. Oh, there we go. There we go. See, very vibrant, like this very glass-like finish. I like that. And next up are some of my favorite shades for layering. This is Partridge, which I think you can no longer buy, but this is great under Makeup Geek's Havoc. And this is starting to feel a little dry. However, you can revive these with a bit of Inglot's Duraline. You can just rub that in and then they'll work again. So this is what that looks like. It's that blue-brown kind of shade. And then these are the ones, yes, this one was also brought back. This is Bay. And this is Dance Party. And Bay and Dance Party are some of the oldest Super Shocks in my collection, so that I can still swatch these and potentially use them. Like, they do feel a little bit on the dry side, but these are very pretty. And these are the shades that I like topping under my two Nabla shadows. So let me do that for you right now. So I love putting Alchemy 2.0. No, this is just regular Alchemy. I love putting that over Bay. And then you really bring some new dimension to it. And then I like putting Selfish over Dance Party. And then these Nabla shades just get a little bit more life to them. Like a little bit more oomph. Do you just see what that does? And then I just have some from like collections that they did. These are from the Making Mauves. And one of these is a little bit shoddy in terms of how it closes. So yeah, this has dried out a lot because these just don't close very well. The packaging is a bit... But that's a very pretty shade. That's, what's it called? Bloomer. And then we have Day Trippin'. And Day Tripping is similar to, like, it's like as if Frog and Ritz had a baby. That's the way I would describe it. So that's the one I tend to go for the most. But together they're very pretty. And these are from the Wine and Only. Why Not Wine and Only? These are Wine Down and Muse. And I especially like Muse here because it's this really nice, rich, coppery kind of shade. I think this will also be a pretty base for that Charlotte Tilbury Jeweled Eyes. I think that will add some dimension to it. And then this is the other one. This is a bit deeper, more of a burgundy shade. So next up are my liquids and my pigments and like loose glitters. I only have two loose glitters. These are by NYX. I have red and teal. I believe that's also what they're called. I can't swatch these for you because they need a binding agents for them to even stay put. If I want to do a glitter look, I have the option. Then I have some MAC pigments. I just have the baby one, so I have vanilla. This is what's this called again? Tan. I've got Whisper of Pink, and I have Rose. This is Rose. So these came in a little holiday set that I bought years ago, and I just got this as a single. And then I have this mini sample size that I got with my Sigil Inspired order, which looked like a very pretty shade. So it's very much stuck to the lid. You get these little samples, apparently, when you buy from them. I didn't know that. And this is what that looks like. It's like a pink to green shift. I do think I have other things like this, so I don't think I'll keep this, and I don't really use my loose shadows all that much, but it's nice that they give you a sample. JCat Beauty, this is Mirror Ball, I believe it's called. I just wanted to try some JCat, and this was one of the products I decided to pick up. Look at how pretty this is. This is why you want to reach for a single shadow. Like a loose pigment. But that's really, really pretty. So this I'm very happy with that I own. And then finally, I have this Barry M thing from way back in the day when Barry M did a lot of these Dazzle Dusts. I'm not sure if this will still pick up. This is one I'll probably declutter this. It's like another one of those blurples. Like, this was something you just didn't find a lot. And this is very dusty. So this is definitely something that I'll declutter probably. And then we have liquid shadows. I've got some multi-chromes and I just have some lovely shimmering shades. I bought this Giorgio Armani one. This is number 37. I believe it's like emerald green or something like that. I don't know. It's a really intense, like dark green shade. I haven't put this on my eyes yet, so I'm a bit nervous. But the reason why I wanted to own this is because it isn't just an intense green, because it's got a lot of blue running to it, making it more of a teal. Just look at that. Like, and then again, one of those fun Colourpop Super Shocks over the top. Like something like Frog over this, or that Day Trippin' shade. That would be stunning. And then I have, this is, I believe, not from Holika, but from Etude House. Yeah, this is the Etude House Mirror Holic. I believe, I don't remember the shade name of this, but this is a really pretty, very sort of shimmery liquid shadow. You really only need a little bit with this. So this is quite intense as well. But it's very pretty on the eyes. I really like this. It's very similar to the Stila Glitter and Glows. But I have one Stila, this one, which isn't their Glitter and Glow, but this is their Shimmer and Glow or something like that. Whatever. It's the one without the glitters. This is in Cloud. I'm not sure if this is still any good. These are a bit dry, perhaps, but oh yeah, this has barely any payoff. But you can revive these again with Inglot's Duraline if you'd want to. The one I use the most is Diamond Dust, which is this like silver and gold glitter mix, which also still looks to be the best. Let me see how it goes. Yeah, this is still very, very creamy. And then the other one that I really liked was Wanderlust. I got this a little bit later. I'm not sure how this is still doing. This is still good to go as well. And then I have Kitten Karma. This one was dry from the start, and I did try to revive it, and I think it worked. So this you can still use. And then I have Smoldering Satin, which again looks a little bit dry. But you can still use it, but it may need a bit of TLC. But you can still use that shade. And last but not least, we have my multi-chrome liquid shadows. These are from Lethal Cosmetics. This is Gateway and this is Payload. I definitely still want to add Cypher to my collection. That's their greenish blue shade. That one I'm still very much sort of lusting after, but it was out of stock when I ordered these. So this is what Gateway looks like, and that's sort of like that sigil-inspired single, but then much more intense because this is like a pinky shade, and then it has a lot of green running through it. So that's what that looks like, but it's very, when you sheer it out and you use it as eyeshadow, it looks really pretty on the eyes. And this is Payload, and this is like blue, purple, green sort of vibes. Ooh. So I'm not sure you can see. Let me see if I can even it out a little bit for you. So this is, and these stay, as you will see when we compare it to the Essence ones. You can, like, this is a little bit more sheer to begin with, but this, if you blend it, you just see that it becomes more even. And you just see it as blue right now. But if I turn my hand, you can see a little bit of the purple. And sadly, the same cannot be said for these Essence ones, but these are so much fun. And I'm going to swatch all of these on the back of my hand for you so you can see what they do. I have Chrome Over Baby, Oh My Chrome, Chrome Addict, Chromazing, and Chromology. That's what these five are called. This was the entire collection that they randomly came out with over the summertime. They're numbered, but they look really pretty in the tube. But these just don't really sheer out like the Lethal ones do. So this is what they look like in a full-on swatch. But when you try blending these, they just kind of sheer out in a very weird way. So they are still pretty, but if you want to get them to look as intense as in the packaging, you need to build them up, and then they don't stay put. Then they start to crease. These do dry down. which I like, but only if you go in with a subtle layer like this, and especially with a shade like this, it just can look a little dirty on the eyes. So you can see the green. It's actually more purple blue here in the tube, but it looks green on camera, which I think is fun. With multi-chromes, it's always so hard. Like this one perhaps isn't as sheer, but you can just see these are very light. And then this guy. You can see it as purple. I see blue and green here as well. A bit of like orange, red. This one again is not super sheer, but you can just see that these aren't as impactful as the lethal ones. Let me put this one here. So this is a fun one. Like this is that blurple shade that I love so much. And then actually my favorite one that I also put on my eyes is this one. Let me put that one here. But you need to shear these out for them to not crease. And then it just doesn't look like this. Because then it looks more like this. I mean, it's still pretty. You get a lot of the gold in here, but there's definitely a green flip. So this is what all the Essence ones, what they look like when you swatch them all out. And because of a lot of them being quite sheer, you just don't get the same very impactful shine. Maybe over a black base they look better, who knows. And then we move into my singles in palettes. So I did curate 3 little lethal palettes over time that I did. I think I have swatches up with all of these already, so I'm not going to swatch anything for you in this video. But I actually did reorganize them over the summertime to have more like color stories per palette. So this is the green one. This is my sort of grungy, bluey greens. And then this is the pinks and purples. There we go with the pinks and purples. So I think I have, like I said, already swatches up with all of these. I think I did a swatch video with all of my lethal singles in 2020, so I'll link that down below. Something I know I also have swatches with are all of my Colourpop singles, and I also have a reorganization video up with all of these shades. So if you want to see these, you can. So it starts from like more neutral warm tones into pinks and then into greens, and then we move into the greens and the purples in the other palette. So the color story kind of runs like that. This is the only palette with warm tones in, because everything else is cool toned. So that's the gap in my singles collection. Then I don't think, I know I have swatches up with all of my Inglot shades on my blog, so that's content I already have. So these are all of my Inglot shades. These are very old but still lovely. I don't reach for these a lot, but they're good shades. I've got some good pastels in here that I really like. And then this palette is my Fun Shimmer palette. That's what I've dubbed this. So this is just a Z palette that I filled with all of these single shades. Some of these are Luxie, some of these are Davina, some of these are Sydney Grace, and some of these are Cleona round singles. And I know I have several renditions of Blurple already within this palette. Like I think I have a few that are a purple to a blue and a blue to a purple. Like I've got different renditions. This is Luxie Starboy, which is one of my favorite inner corner highlight shades. Here are some Sydney Grays. This is Red Chameleon, which is a lovely, lovely shade as well. So yeah, these are the Fun Shimmers. And then some more palettes that I already have swatches up with. This is my MAC and Makeup Geek singles palette. I did swatches of all of my MAC shadows, as well as all of my Makeup Geek shadows in the past, and I've taken those 2 palettes and put them into a new palette. I also have a video on that reorganization to come up with this. So this is more my vibes now. So I've gotten rid of a lot of the warm tones that I had in both of those palettes because I just don't tend to reach for it. I have all of the neutral like shimmers and satins that I might need. A full row of like mattes to set up the look. Then I have my more like mid-tone shimmers here, and then I've got 2 rows of colors, and I like purples, blues, and greens. So that's all I've got going on. I've got some lovely teals in here. Maca Makeup Geek. And these two we should view sort of in tandem. These are custom palettes I made because I felt that this just wasn't really on the market. So I built myself my perfect cool tone palette. I have an entire video about this. However, I have since changed what this palette looks like because I came into some more Sydney gray shades. And I had a couple of Makeup Geeks still lying about, some Nabla, a Catrice, but everything else you see here is Sydney grays. So I need to update, I think, my Sydney grays swatches. That's what I need to do because these I got mostly over the fall time. And this is just taupey, murky heaven, really. And then for the more saturated colors, because I built myself a blue-green palette, because again, I felt a lot of what was on the market just wasn't perfect for me. So I built it myself, and these sort of go hand in hand. So I've got all the neutrals I need in this pink one, but then I also have a lot of the colors. And if I just want to make this more saturated, or I want things to pull more vibrantly, I can pull in this. So really, I could just have these 2 palettes for the rest of my life and do every single makeup look that I prefer doing. Oh well. In here, we really have a giant mix of brands. The bigger ones are Nabla. I've got some ABH still in here, I believe, some Sydney Grays. There's a Stray Makeup Forever shade in here, some Deep Potted Juvia's Place. I've got some Colored Rain in here, Divina. What else is in here? Like I said, ABH. Like, there's this whole, like, mixture of things. So yeah, this is a very big catch-all. I think this is a Colourpop shade, actually. So yeah, we've got sort of like the turquoisey greens going into darker greens and teals over here, going into blues from like brighter to like darker, and then we go into an array of purples that also goes from like dusty to more saturated. So that's my 2 like go-to palettes when it comes to these. Finally, my multi-chrome palette. I now have a dedicated multi-chrome palette because I placed myself an order in the Cliona sale that they did over the fall time and got some more of the stained glass ones. I think I only had like 6 of these in the past. I now have quite a few more, as you can see. I want to do a dedicated swatch video on this palette when I feel it's a bit more rounded out. I'm going to be buying some more Terra Moons shades during their New Year's sale, which should be up until the end of January. So I'm going to buy some of their shades and then fill this palette up a little bit. So what else is in here? The square pans are all Cliona, Touch of Glam. We've got some Divina here, and then we have some JD Glow shades, of which I really only like the bottom one, as you can see. The other 2 I feel are very gritty. And I'm actually considering like decluttering these 2 shades so I have a bit more space. Because I'd rather buy some more of the Cliona instead. Not gonna lie. I like the Divina ones, but they're a little dark. So I love that there's some more vibrancy in this for sure. So that's the end of my single shadow collection video. I really hope you enjoy seeing some of these swatches and what some things look like and how they compare and all that. I'm definitely going to have to update you on some of these multi-chromes and my Sydney gray shadows. And I would love to know from you what you think of my little plan of doing like, maybe not every month, but like regularly, like do a video where I do something with my single shadows. That's the plan. So thank you very much for watching this video today, everybody. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make 3 new videos a week normally. In January, it's still down to 2. I'm still sort of easing my way back into things. And then I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye.